Beans. You'll be real dorky about it too.
Hello.
Does that look better? That looks better. Okay. Are we live now? No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Someone's walking down my stairs. I can hear it.
well, anybody
Yeah,
that
we're
shows
live.
up.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. I'm just posting about us on Instagram like a
Oh,
dork. Hello, Swan here. We're live right now for the Let Us In podcast. We'll be live for an hour, a couple hours. We don't know. We've got some. Just go
well,
to the
that's
link.
it.
We're live on Twitch and YouTube. So,
Hi, Optimisty.
oh, Optimisty, you're here. I'm so happy. Ahoy, hoy.
Ahoy, ahoy. Uh, oh man. How's everybody's life? We have for the patrons a poll
It's the
up
holidays,
for
so it sucks. Sorry.
our next episode. I love the holidays, but
I know.
man, they
I
wear me out.
try. I
Wear
try.
me
Like I
out.
dressed up for our holiday episode last. I try. I try.
I love it. I love it. I love buying people's presents. I think one of my main, I mean, all the love languages I think are my love language, but I think
Oh,
my
we have a
main
question
one
about love
is
language.
gift giving for sure. Because I love giving people gifts. I love like thinking of like I think them out. Like I give
You
really
try to
well
make
thought
it
out
something
gifts.
like something very personal to them. You're not just like a
Yeah.
candle or
Like
something. Yeah.
yeah. I told
I love
I was
doing that.
telling my partner the other day, I was like, I love getting gift cards, but I hate giving gift cards.
Oh, me too.
Like I love a gift card, but if you're expecting a gift from me, don't expect a gift card because I'm going to think of something that I know you want or you've said that you love or something with to do with a hobby I know you love, and I'm going to get you something that I know you would never get yourself. And that's what I'll get you. Like that's my favorite thing to give people. Things that they're not going to spend the money on themselves for, but they really want, but they're not going to do it. So I get them it. Like,
Hello, the clown icon. Good to see you. Um, my family just asked me, "What do you want?" Just tell us directly. What do you want? And I just tell them my mom bought me some. I lost my boots. I had these really good bogs,
mhm.
like farming but kind of winter boots,
Oh
and
yeah.
I lost them somehow. And my
I
mom
love
bought me new pair.
sorels. Those are my favorite. Like
Those are cute with the
it's
fur.
very Washingtonian
Boots
of
with the
me, I
fur.
think. I grew up wearing the duckbill boots, the sorels, and Is it so a lot of people pronounce it differently too. Some people pronounce them sorrels, some people pronounce them sorrel, but I always pronounce it like what is it, morel mushrooms, right?
What? I did that. I don't know what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, okay. I can see now that we can see everyone from Twitch and YouTube. Sydney Prescott.
Just
We
touching
are
our
talking
comment.
winter boots. Just
Winter boots.
opening.
Yeah.
Anybody's
Yeah.
thoughts on winter boots? Like these are my shoes for tonight. I
Oh my
can't see this.
goodness. Your shoes aren't even on screen, girl. You're too much. You want to know what I'm wearing right now? Let's see if I can get
It's
them
how
on
they
the
make me
screen.
feel.
Slippers. They're like furry slippers.
I usually wear just slippers or something. I need my Star Trek pillow to be proper height. Give me a sec.
I know. I had this seat in here for a long time, but I don't know if you guys remember me talking about it. It squeaks a lot, so I got rid of it. Plus, it was really uncomfortable to sit in for too long. But now I don't have a seat. I didn't think that through. Well, we were moving, remember? And then now we're not moving. But we
Much
were
better.
moving. So I thought I was going to be taking everything down in here anyways and just stream from my work desk, which has its own chair. So I didn't think I needed a new chair. So I was like, well, just get rid of that. I don't need that. We were doing like a big dump run and I hated that chair that was in here. But now
So
I
you
don't
have a
have
new
a
one.
chair.
I know you don't have one.
No,
Well, the thing is you can get a high
I
office
keep stealing my
chair.
man's chair from his garage, and it's like a stool, uh, so it's not
You
super
look
comfortable.
yeah, I would never know. I would never know.
I feel like I'm just
El Chubby Cupber, you made it! I'm
"Hello."
so glad the twins are here, even though you're not pessimisty tonight. Horror and coffee, welcome. We're just warming up a little bit, although I think we got pretty much a good crowd going. We have a
Yeah.
few questions, and I have to say, some of the questions I receive, I would say ask us any horror related questions, but then we would get less questions. So I just say questions. And sometimes I think it's just not random, but people that are usually in my Instagram stories that want to ask a woman, or not me
We
specifically,
we do get a lot of
anonymous.
dating advice questions.
Yeah, and I'm not sure I'm well equipped for that one. We don't have as much dating advice questions. We do have some good horror questions, and we're taking questions
Mhm.
from the chat. But I did a little research. If anyone is interested, we don't have to do it on the question I get every time. Look nice and crudely written down. And I've done the science, and I can let you guys
I don't
know.
wear glasses like you.
Oh, you've got your Fred head glasses
My
on.
Fred had glasses. Shout out to the Fred Head doc. Fred Head's documentary.
Go watch the
If you
Fred
guys
Heads
haven't watched it,
documentary.
definitely watch it. Final Girl, mutual of ours, put that one
Final
together.
Girl and Sassy Sledgehammer and
Yeah,
a lot of really cool people on that crew.
the Fred Head glasses.
And
They look so
it's
cool
funny
on
because I
camera.
bought it because I wanted to support them, obviously,
Yeah.
and I want to watch it. And they sent me
Mhm.
one for free, so I have two. So maybe I can give it away.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
Okay,
Okay,
so the
so
question I get every
before you
time
get
that
to
I
the question, though, before you get to the question, I just want to make an announcement to you guys. At the end of this stream, we are going to announce our next episode. So if you are a patron, you can go into our Discord and click the link to get to your, or just go straight to Patreon and log on and go to our Patreon and vote for your next episode. I believe we have Yalo. Yalo.
give
How do you
yellow,
say it?
it's like yellow.
Yalo. Yalo. Uh, and then we have witches and cults or haunted houses. Yes. Yalo, cults,
So
witches, haunted
far,
houses. Yeah, so far it's tied actually.
tied
So
between should we tell them?
no, they'll find out, I'm
Hmm.
sure. I don't know. I don't know. Does it tell you guys? Or do I just see it?
No.
I don't know if patrons can see the voting where it's at before they vote. You guys will have to answer that for me. I don't know. But go in there and vote for what your heart chooses. Um okay, question. Go ahead, Emma. The
All right.
question you
If
get.
and
Order
I'll let the
time.
chat. If you're interested, you're interested. If not, you're not. And thank you, Spooky Robin, for asking that question. We'll get to that next question
Oh yeah.
about Jordan Peele, because I have a lot of thoughts on it, and we'll go into it. All right. So the question I get every time, I just gave it away. Does size matter? And I remember it
I
was
feel like we've asked this,
we've been
answered this.
asked this before. We've
We
answered
have.
it in a general sort of way that most it pretty much doesn't, but we don't speak for all women. There are size queens out there, and there are more
Mm.
creative ways to, pleasure a person besides just having a big penis.
I don't think
It's
it
fine.
doesn't matter. I just don't think it's the only thing that matters.
No, I mean, so
That makes
I've
sense.
got
It can
numbers,
matter.
okay?
It
So
can.
these numbers are going to make you feel better, I think. Oh, that's another great question by the clown icon. Okay. The average woman, the width of her vagina when aroused is 4 stop it, just
What? I
I'm
didn't
never
do
gonna get through this. I
anything.
heard a
We
laugh.
both got one, so I'm not
Yeah,
giggling
but
about
not
that.
everyone does, so
I get
okay.
you're right. You're right. We all got Google.
Um, average width when aroused is 4.25 to 4.75 inches. And I only went with US numbers, otherwise it gets a little complicated, so I apologize anybody that's not in the US.
If you do the
Um,
metric system, you're gonna have to convert on your phone.
so 4.25 to 4.75 inches in width, right? In circumference. Uh, and for the average male in America, it's 4.5 inches. Oh my God, that's like the same, right?
It's like they were made for each other.
Well, also, when it comes to does size matter? When it comes to width,
Uh-huh.
there are people mention there's so many more types of orgasms, but I'm gonna stick to the main three for women and the main three for men, and maybe you'll learn
Mhm.
something. Maybe. So for a woman, the there's clitoral, obviously very easily done without a big penis. Um, there
Or with
is
one at all. Mhm.
cervical and vaginal. And so width of the penis is more important, if you have to say it's important at all, in vaginal orgasm, but vaginal orgasms tend to be uh, started around the front of the vagina.
Mhm.
That helps. So
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
don't have to be that long.
Mhm.
You just have to be in
I
there.
tell you what, guys, it all starts with a quick Google search of all the spots, and you'll be fine. You don't even need a penis. Don't even need one.
Some of the best
So
sex I've ever
does
had
size
was with
matter?
my ex-wife. So
Probably not. Can it matter? It sure can
I'm
mean
not done with my
something.
numbers,
It sure can
Justine.
sorry. I wanna
Then
answer
we
these
can have
horror questions.
conclusion. We have length to go over as well. All
No.
right.
Do we have to?
I'll be quick about it.
I don't know.
Uh, the average length of a woman's vagina, um, not aroused, is 2 to 4 inches. When aroused, it can stretch 4 to 8 inches, probably staying around the size of whatever is inserted. The average length in America of a man's penis is not a big deal if yours isn't this size, is 5 inches. So, like, it's pretty much, there's differences, but they're kind of made to fit, really well. And for our men, people, individuals who have penises that have sex with cis men, the average length of the anus is 2 inches. So I don't know if that helps
Doesn't it go
anyone feel
all the way
better.
up to the
So
intestine
for
technically?
a
Like
so there's the pelvic orgasm there's the ejaculatory orgasm for a man, typical. And then there's the pelvic, which it has to do with the pelvic nerve, and that has to do with the front of the anus. And then it's 2 inches to the prostate. And reverse on
okay.
that, one of my favorite orgasms is the
Park
cervical
me where?
orgasm, which is it's right where the vagina ends. It's if you haven't felt in there, it's like a ball. You feel it.
Like a
So,
little junction ball.
length kind of matters a little bit, but at the same, it depends. But
It doesn't have to
positioning,
matter is like the point.
doggy style is the best position, and also a woman's cervix
You
is
know
lower when she's ovulating, and that's all I have to say.
you know
Has
what
that
does
we
matter?
now we're never going to
Size
answer it.
size can matter, but it also doesn't have to matter. But you know what always matters? Communication.
Communication, figuring out what
Communication.
works for you and each other.
Okay, so can we move on to horror? I wanna
Yes,
talk
we
horror
can.
movies.
I just wanted
No,
to get that
that
out of
was
the
a great
way.
question.
You know what? It's a
I
question
wanna
I
get
get
you
all the
some I wanna
time,
get you some glasses that look kinda like teachery bifocals that you
or
can put
whatever
on when
Dr.
you're
Ruth used to wear.
yeah,
Didn't she have
whatever yeah,
glasses?
yeah, so you can get into, like, your "Let's educate the audience."
Well, I
Like,
just wanted to do
moment.
it thoroughly
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
with the numbers that are basically, no matter what
Yeah,
you're
I think
doing, they're
last
kind
time
of
we just
gonna be
said,
the.
"It can," and then we moved on. Like
No,
yeah, but this is
I just
much
had
more
fun
in-depth.
doing
You
this. I
guys
had a
really got
blast.
it.
I'm gonna tell you I had a blast doing this. I'm proud of myself,
I'm proud of you
for my
too.
quick
It was
Googling.
very, very thorough.
But now I'm never gonna answer it again.
Sex ed was fun.
Now I'm never gonna answer. Look at me making sex ed not sexy. So I have to go up. Yeah, that is what
Let's
she said.
answer, Spooky Robin's question real quick because he
Yes.
asked that in Discord as well. Hey, don't forget, you guys, we have a Discord if you
I
haven't
made
joined it
him
yet.
wait.
Super, super good questions happen in there. He said, "What is our thoughts on Jordan Peele doing People Under the Stairs?" One thing I want to ask Emma, because I'm not 100% sure about this, but I believe it's not Jordan Peele, it's his production company, right?
Yeah, it's
But
his
it's not,
production
and
company.
he is,
Last that I knew, it didn't have a
he,
director attached. Let us know, Spooky Robin, if he is now attached to direct. He is his production company has had the property for quite some years. And
yeah.
that is one of the movies I saw a million times on the Sci-Fi Channel. We got Big Ed and Nadine, as like a twisted, twisted. I mean, Nancy and Ronald Reagan were twisted, but like a twisted version, like a different kind of version of them, and they call each other mommy and daddy. It's so gross, and I love it. And of course, I had a little bit of a crush on Roach, the played by Sean Whalen, who lived in the walls. Um, so I'm very excited about it. I mean, I liked the new Candyman. You always kind of have feelings for the original, and that they took. They're both '90s films. There's a certain thing that can't be recaptured, no matter how good the movie is. But I've been waiting. I hope it. I hope it. I'm
I'm
there.
excited about it. I'm like I think I've said this so often that I am an apologist for remakes, requels, and reboots. Like, I'm never upset that they're doing reboots or remakes. Yeah, sometimes they're not necessarily needed, and and maybe I don't know if needed is the right word because I don't think any movie in particular is needed, but there's an audience for it, or there might be a hole out there. I think People Under the Stairs is one of Wes Craven's most underrated films. Like, it is so good, and I know, that's a gap in a lot of people's watch history and viewing, that they haven't seen it, and if we can bring more people to the original, which remakes do, bring people to the original. They do. People watch the new one, and maybe they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna watch the original. I wanna see what the original was all about." Why, and then the hype around people being mad about the remake also brings people to the original. So in the end, you only win for the horror community. So I like the idea that this movie is getting more attention, especially the original. And I like that Jordan Peele's production company is the ones attached to it because I think that his company, is doing good things in film, especially for what that film is about. And if you haven't seen it, I won't go too in depth, but it has to do a lot with classism, and it has African American leads in it, which you don't really get a lot of in horror, and I love that. So that's exciting. That's exciting. Um, Good question. I think I posted it on TikTok a little bit ago about some remakes and requels and sequels coming up.
It's also based on a true story, lightly, but it
Mm,
has heavy political themes, but you don't feel like you're being preached to. And it's also
right.
remains to be silly and goofy. Like, it has a
Yeah.
great blend of it. The portrayal of our main character, who is a little boy, lives in the ghetto, and the characters live in the ghetto, is a little, you can tell a white guy made it. But besides that, I really like one of the scariest scenes for me growing up in movies at all is when Wendy Robbie, who plays the crazy redhead, right?
Mhm.
She grabs the little girl and she puts her in like a scalding bath, and she's got this wire brush and she's rubbing it against her. That's scary shit. But that's good.
Yeah, and like you said, you could tell, like, obviously it's Wes Craven, it's a white man. Which again is why it's so exciting to see Jordan Peele's production company be attached to it. Because I think that Jordan Peele really cares about the movie. And so I feel like there's gonna be a lot of care and thought put into it, um, which is great. And
I like
he
to see Nina
obviously is
Costa
a fan
direct
of
it.
Wes Craven. Oh, yeah, that would be great. That would be great. I loved the Candyman. That one was good. I wish that one got better attention because it was really good. The other question also has to do with sequels. So, and slightly a reboot, which was what are our thoughts on the Scream 7 situation with the casting debacles going on? And I think we are both in agreement on this. I'm not going to watch it.
Neither am
I
I.
don't know how they're gonna fix it. I don't know how they're gonna fix this. This is a big fumble from corporations just doing their corporate out of touch BS. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting how they've handled this. It's disgusting how um, a lot of actors and people are being treated for being against a genocide. Like it's bizarre to me. Like how
A
out
lot
of
to do
touch
with
people
money.
are.
I
Like
think they
it's
know. They know. They're
crazy.
using, widespread or propaganda,
Well, yeah, I think
that
what I
it's
mean by out of touch.
anti-Semitic when it's not.
Yeah,
And, we're pro-Palestine, free Palestine on this podcast.
yeah.
And it's, common propaganda that if you feel like they should have their own home and not be murdered, it's you're anti-Semitic and it doesn't make sense. And so, because I think you told me, Justine, that's the grounds on why Melissa was fired, correct?
That's correct. So, I did read there's one specific, I think it was an Instagram post that she put out that they are focusing in on, and I don't know if it's been deleted since, but it had made reference to, um, why it is you're not seeing a lot of real stories about from the Palestinian perspective. And she said I would question why that is. And they were implying that she was perpetrating the anti-Semitic tropes of Jewish media, controlling the media, which I'm not Jewish, so I can't speak to this. I can't speak to what people who are Jewish could read into that post. But what I can speak to is what I read when I read that, which is there are a lot of people who support this military industrial complex that we've gotten ourselves into for centuries. And that is wholly funded by the same corporations that own the media, which will continue to perpetrate war mongering. And that is always going to be the case. And in this case, it's going to be in support of Israel, period, the Israeli government. And that's how I read it.
And our
But I
relationship with the Israeli
that is my
government.
own perspective as someone who is very much a disillusioned veteran of the military
Thank you
industrial
for your service, Justine.
so, as a disillusioned veteran, that is what I read with her post. Now, I can understand if that is not how some people read it because propaganda is as old
It
as
takes
time.
like less than an hour, man.
And
Just like look for both sides.
it's interesting to me that her calling out propaganda got her fired as if she was promoting old propaganda, which has been around a lot longer, I think, possibly. I don't know. I think propaganda around anti-Semitism might have been around longer than propaganda has for the war machine that we have now. That's possible. I don't know. I think it all came from war. But anyways,
Good
the
for
point
Jenny
is,
Ortega. She quit. Good for her.
yeah, I think
What I
that's
do.
really interesting how much not only is Spyglass trying to say it has nothing to do with Melissa Barrera, but also her team is just like, we were already in scheduling talks. And I posted this like this is what we know. They're saying it's because of scheduling and that they with Wednesday and that she was in talks about this already. And I would guess that it has to do probably with both. I mean, I'm sure it's a bit of both. The reason nothing was finalized yet was because of scheduling, and they didn't have a script finalized yet because of her scheduling, partly. And they were still in talks with other cast members. So they've been in talks with Nev Campbell and Patrick Dempsey for a while too,
Mhm.
before the SAG-AFTRA strike. Just like they were still in talks with Jenna Ortega before the strike started, about scheduling. So all of those things were happening already. Um, that is true. We do know that. Um, But Melissa Barrera being fired, I would guess, did influence those decisions quite a bit. Like, if I were Jenna Ortega and I had the option still, and I was still in negotiations on doing a film, and Melissa Barrera got fired for the same thing that I agree with and support, yeah, no, I would just be like, "Sorry, this just isn't working out. I guess our negotiations are over." Like, we just can't figure out a schedule, you know? Like, and if you can't nail anything down, you don't even have a script, and now you've lost your a cast member, I can't guarantee any more effort towards this conversation, you know? And sure, that would motivate me, like, a lot in my decision. So,
But
I
also saying
whether
too much would definitely Disney definitely benefits from what's going on. So would well, Disney, I don't, Wednesday is Netflix, so I'm not sure on that.
it is.
But it might jeopardize her role as Wednesday, even though how are they going to do the show without her? You know.
Oh god, they couldn't, and they've already also lost a cast member recently, so
Who?
Um, the guy, he had some allegations against him,
Luis Guzman?
so they let him go. No, the one that played
Thank God. I love the Luis Guzman. I'm like, no.
the guy that does the art, I can't even remember his name. It's so, he was
The
so
art?
relevant.
Oh, I haven't seen it, so I
One of the
he's
love
one of her
triangle
classmates.
dudes, yeah. I could care less about those characters, to me, like, I don't even know why they bothered with a love triangle. It felt very, like, afterthought and silly, so
Is one of the characters that's in the love triangle her little boyfriend from the camp?
uh-uh.
What?
Uh-uh. That
Dumb.
that the movies haven't been referenced at all,
Ugh,
really.
whatever.
Um, God, I love I mean, besides Christina Ricci being in it. But,
I love Christina I
um,
love, Joan Crawford as Debbie.
what's her name?
Debbie.
Joan
Debbie, the one
Cusack.
who marries Fester.
Yeah, Joan Cusack, right?
Joan Cusack, that's yep.
Yeah,
Joan
yes.
Crawford, totally different person.
We don't
You know,
like
me
Joan
and
Crawford,
names. I
do we?
recently got,
Do we
Carl
like
Weathers, I
Joan
said
Crawford?
Bill
Didn't she, like,
Weathers.
beat her children?
She didn't have any children.
I
Oh, you
thought
mean
she
oh,
had,
Joan
like
Crawford, oh, the actress.
yeah.
Yeah, and, Mommy Dearest, the whole "No wire hangers ever." It's very VC Andrews, but it's not VC Andrews, and there's no incest. Um,
Wait, so did Joan Crawford star in Mommy Dearest, or was it about Joan
it was
Crawford?
about so her adopted daughter, wrote a memoir, Joan Crawford's adopted daughter, and then the book about her childhood with Joan as Joan Crawford as her mother was made into a movie. I'm not sure who played Joan Crawford, but it was not Joan Crawford, and about
Right,
her
right.
own abuse.
Right, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, okay. Um, what was there any did that answer your question? Because we all know what happened, it's a mess. Yeah, I agree, it is a mess, Clown Icon.
Faye Dunaway, DC says,
I'm
was Faye
I'm
Dunaway the
good
mother.
without watching it, so I won't be watching Scream 7. I don't because I really don't know how they fix this. Will they unfire her? Like, will
And that's
they?
a big deal
Probably
for you,
not.
and there's a lot of big Scream fans
Oh, it's a huge deal
that
for
are,
me.
saying, "I'm not gonna watch it," and they'll show, like, all their Scream stuff, and they'll say, you know, I'm not gonna watch it, and look at how big a fan I am, you know? Our friends,
Pretty
AJ, the
hardcore.
illustrator, and the disturbing dissector.
Brie Hartzor. Yeah, and I believe I don't know if Horror Chronicles, I believe she said she wasn't gonna watch it too.
I could see that.
So,
I haven't seen I haven't been on the TikTok as often. I've been
yeah, I
busy.
same Sydney Prescott. I never thought I would be saying I'm not gonna watch a Scream film. There was in my mind, there was nothing that would have stopped me from watching Scream 7 until, this. It was unthinkable. Like, what? So bizarre.
No, thank
Do
you
you
for the
have any,
question, Clown
yeah,
Icon.
thank you, that was a great question. Do you have any other questions from your AMA?
Oh, yes, I do. Um, let me go down. some of these are dated questions, but we can still answer
Mm,
them because they have to do with Thanksgiving. Um,
mm, I
let's
love
choose one.
Thanksgiving.
Mm,
Stuffing. That's my favorite Thanksgiving dish, if you guys were curious.
what was
It's
it?
stuffing. Stuffing.
Oh yeah, stuffing's the best.
Love stuffing, especially if you mix in crispy chicken or turkey skin. Mm.
Mm. So some of these might be ones I just don't remember we've been
Bread.
asked, so let me know.
Bread stuffing.
Um,
I'm a bread girl, man. I actually just ate, like, 2 rolls of bread today. I love bread.
good for you.
I get the the marinated mozzarella balls
No.
that you can buy? They're just mozzarella balls, and they're in, like, garlic and spices and stuff, and they're
Sounds good.
marinated in this, like, oil
Are
olive
they
oil
so they
and
breaded
spices.
too?
No, it's just mozzarella balls. You stick them in your fridge, and you just pop them in your mouth like
That
charcuterie.
sounds
Um,
delightful.
I get that, and I get some sourdough rolls that are nice from the bakery side of the store, and I just rip it apart and dip it in there and eat a mozzarella ball, and it's the best snack.
So this isn't a question that we got, but I'm going to ask it.
Mhm.
And I'm asking the chat too. You guys let us know.
Mm.
Um, we were asked what did we think of Thanksgiving, so I assume they're talking about the Eli Roth movie. I haven't seen it, so I can't
I haven't
say.
seen it yet. I was gonna try to watch it this last weekend, and I just couldn't get to it, so
So I'm going to ask a question to us and to the chat. What are some Thanksgiving themed, or they don't have to be Thanksgiving themed, if it's a movie you like to watch during Thanksgiving? Justine?
Oh, Addams Family Values, actually. I know we talked about it a little bit, but that's a Thanksgiving movie that I love.
Oh, I love
Um,
that little skit they do at the camp. Awesome.
yes, it's the best part, right?
Mhm.
I love that film. I love let's see,
I'll be the
um,
victim all your life.
All Your Life, yeah.
All your life.
Um, I I like Your Next around this time frame. I know that they're not technically having a Thanksgiving dinner. It's kind of an unlabeled family reunion dinner type thing. Like, they're not saying it's a family reunion, they're not saying it's Thanksgiving. It's just them coming during a kinda cool time of year to eat a dinner together, so it gives me Thanksgiving vibes. So Your Next is for sure one that I like to watch when it's around the holiday season. Those 2 are my tops that I can think
El
of right
Chubby
now.
Cabra said, not horror, but planes, trains, and automobiles, a movie I love.
Ooh,
John
yeah.
Candy and John Candy. Me and names. John Candy and Steve Martin, love it. Did he sell shower curtains or just the shower curtain rings? Can't remember. It was like El Chubby Cop. You gotta let me know. For me, I love, you know, it as to be expected, blood rage. I love the charm of its
Mhm.
quality. That's not cranberry sauce. It doesn't have a lot of Thanksgiving in it, but
Mhm.
it's. And then I have, and I've seen Thanksgiving 1 and 3. There isn't a second one. 3 makes me wanna die. It's like it's insufferable. It's South Park type comedy, but not good. You know what I it just misses except for well, that's 3. The first one I can find kinda funny, even though they have some rape jokes in there, and I don't like that. I never do. But they do have a great, like, "Just talking about my best friend," random song in it that's cute, and I like it. That's for Thanksgiving, and, watching the behind the scenes, they're really passionate,
Sorry.
which as that's okay, it's usually my
That
dogs.
scared the crap out of
And I
me.
still haven't watched Blood Freak. I haven't watched it
Ooh.
yet, and I bought it last year. Um, it's about a rampaging turkey monster on a marijuana high. He's eating marijuana smokers, and he's a freak turkey. And I have not seen it yet. It's not even
I haven't seen it yet either.
rapping, and
I
it's
feel like
from
Thanksgiving horror is kind of a blind spot on my radar. Um,
1972. There aren't enough. and you know, and it's there's one I think it's named Christy or Krista, which is a horror film, I think, but some might
Yeah,
not qualify it as that,
I
about a
like that
woman who's
movie.
very self-involved, around and apparently violent. But I think the
But I
idea of a family reunion and the meal, and there's so many things
yeah.
they could do with that.
Yeah, and I would love a short around Thanksgiving where like a family like starts eating Thanksgiving and like they're somehow cursed and they become the food that they're eating first on their plate.
Oh, that's
Because
awesome.
I
We should
feel
do
like
that.
everybody has a different favorite dish at Thanksgiving. Like anytime I go to Thanksgiving, there's always someone who's excited about a different dish. And it would be so funny to me if they start just turning into the food that they start eating first and then they become the plate and then somebody else comes in and like it happens again and again and again. It's
That
just
sounds
like
amazing.
this
Um,
hellscape of turning into your Thanksgiving meal. But it'd be great body
Carter
horror.
says, "I am, uh, basic, but I watch the Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving. Nothing wrong with being basic.
Ah,
Basic isn't bad."
that is one of the biggest reasons why I miss cable because I feel like I always turned that on when I had cable, but I haven't really watched it since then. And I love the Macy's Day Parade. I love the big old floats and stuff, or like, I don't know if you guys are like me. This is probably a little macabre, but I always wait for a disaster. Like, I'm always waiting for, like, a float to get away
Those
or
intrusive
something.
thoughts, Justine.
Yeah. I'm waiting for one of them, like
Is
Snoopy, to
someone
take
gonna
out, like, a
die today in front of
like a
Macy's?
band of people who are marching, and Snoopy comes down and just, like, eats them, but not
Obviously, that
really.
would be horrible if anything bad happened to anybody, but
It would be
in concept,
horrible,
it'd
but
be
I'm always
that
just,
could
like,
be a
waiting
movie.
and thinking about it when I watch it, like, what's gonna happen?
Well, remember, I recently was watching some of the earlier Batmans, and, the Joker has that big balloon that releases the Joker toxin. There could be something
Yeah.
like that going on,
Maybe
and not
that's
in
what
real
it is.
life.
I
Not
think
in
it's
real life, in
that
a
and
movie.
Ghostbusters gave me these intrusive thoughts every Macy's Day Parade. So,
Was it a Macy's Day Parade?
I
In
don't know,
the
but it was a giant marshmallow man. Like, where did he
Oh,
come from
no, no,
again?
okay, not the yeah, yeah. The Stay Puft
It gives me the
Marshmallow
same
Man.
vibe
And
as a
El Chubby
float.
Cabra and, are they're both enjoying, uh, uh and Optimistic mentioned something that is very dear to my heart in a second. They both mentioned the Snoopy balloon classic.
Yeah.
And for us Misties, which is me, El Chubby Cabra, and Optimisty, surprise. Um, since so Mystery Science Theater 3000 was originally on a small local network called KTMA. But when they were picked up by Comedy Central and they made a deal where they can shoot in their own studio in Minnesota, their
Mhm.
first like opening was the Turkey Day Marathon, which was just like a full marathon of MST3K. So that
Isn't there
is
a Puppy Bowl too around
what?
Thanksgiving? Sorry, I just thought of the Puppy Bowl. I used to watch the Puppy Bowl too, but
Yes,
go
isn't
ahead.
didn't they still have that? The
Do they? Do
I don't
they?
know, was it not a isn't it like a dog show? Like a
No, it's a bunch of puppies playing football
oh, I don't think I've
for
ever seen that.
for Thanksgiving football, I think. Anywho, go ahead with your
Oh, no, this
Misty
is a
spell.
tradition every year that they have, and, you know, here's Crow back here. Tom Servo's upstairs, you know,
Um,
that's
I was
it.
gonna say, don't let me forget to get to DC's question too. He asked a question.
Well, let's get to it now.
Okay. So what movies are you looking forward to watching in 2024?
God, I don't even know what's happening now.
Yeah. I feel like I'm so behind on well, a lot of things have been delayed, and I don't know what actually is coming out in 2024 anymore. But I am really excited for a few of those remakes and reboots that I was talking about before. So, like, People Under the Stairs was one, the Beetlejuice 2, which I think is coming out in 2025 now. Um, I have to double check on that. I think that that one got delayed to 2025,
I meant to print out a
unfortunately.
list of films upcoming, but I have 2 exams on Thursday, so I'm like, "You know what? We'll be fine." It's for one
Upcoming
class. It's for one class. the final lab exam and the final
Oh,
regular exam.
Nosferatu, that one. Oh, I'm so excited for that.
Oh,
So
yeah. Who's
excited for
directing that again?
Nosferatu. Robert Eggers.
Oh, that's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, and it's Bill Skarsgård. I'm excited for The New Crow, but I think that one's also coming out
Bill
in
Skarsgård is perfect
2025.
casting for that.
Um, I'll watch anything with Bill Skarsgård in it. Gladiator 2 is also coming out
Ugh,
supposedly
whatever.
in 2024. I'm excited for that because it's Ridley Scott and it's, an amazing cast.
Pedro
So I'm
Pascal's in it, I
down, but
know.
I think that the film story is just not interesting anymore. But maybe we'll see. I think Gladiator was one of those few, like, huge action blockbuster films around the Roman era that still had some political intrigue that could have been explored more. So I'd like to see if Gladiator 2 has more political intrigue in it.
We're
That would be
talking about the
cool.
Roman Empire? Look at us. Look at us. Look at us, right?
Did I tell you that I one of the books I read, in high school was, uh, oh my god, I can't even what is wrong with my brain? The 12 Caesars, I think is what it was translated to by Suetonius. Um, that was so I did used to think about the Roman Empire a
Which is the
lot.
Caesar that kinda he had a speech impediment, so they thought he was slow and not a threat? And then
Claudius, my favorite,
Claudius. That's
my
my favorite.
favorite. He also had,
Oh,
like, a
yeah.
messed up foot.
Mhm.
He came right after Caligula, so he could only do good.
Oh, Furiosa, El Chubby Cover mentions, that's one I'd be excited to see.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I am excited for
Dune,
Madam Web. I know that the trailer was kinda meh, but I really like Dakota
I don't know what's
Johnson.
it about.
Oh, it's a superhero movie. It's a Marvel movie, but it's done by Sony, so there's really low expectations. So, it's like in the Spider-Man universe, but it has
Hey,
Dakota Johnson
Culinary
and
Geek
Sydney
Roy just
Sweeney.
joined us. Thank you. Thank you. And Culinary Geek Roy is the individual who gave us the nickname for our number one community members, the heads of lettuce. That's
Yes,
thanks
yes.
to Culinary Geek Roy, who also is a Misty. Just saying.
Uh,
Um,
I am excited for Quiet Place Day 1.
ugh,
I liked The Quiet Place and A Quiet Place Part 2, so
they're okay for me.
they're really, like, I don't know, they give me a lot of anxiety. I feel like they're really anxiety-inducing films, but in, like, an action-y way, which I like, so it's right up
DC
my
Carter asked
alley.
if we've seen Napoleon yet. I haven't seen anything that's currently out in theaters.
I have 0 interest to watch
Ugh,
Napoleon.
after I had to watch Oppenheimer, thank God I can talk about it now. God, I hated it so much.
Yeah, I don't
So
know, I
Christopher Nolan finds the time in his busy schedule to read a book, and he makes it everyone's fucking problem. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's just like yeah, I
Oh
mean, it's one of
my
those
god.
things, like, and I feel like there's a big missed there's 2 gotcha moments at the end through the storyline and the plot feel completely unearned. You just don't care. And also, and I admire that Nolan cares about cinema so much and whatever, but you think he'd make better
He's
movies.
chasing that Dark Knight appeal again. So, I am excited for Furiosa that was mentioned, but I'm also excited for Alien Romulus. I'm excited for any alien, anything alien. So, Romulus, the series, when the frick is that gonna drop finally? Um, I'm excited for those for sure, and then I'm also excited for the Crow remake, which I don't
Ooh, is Bill Skarsgård still
it's Bill
attached to play
Skarsgård. Yeah, they
Herod the
finished
Raven?
filming, so this one's actually gonna go through. This one's actually gonna come out.
Thank
They
God.
wrapped
He's
filming.
great for it.
Oh, Lisa Frankenstein! I am so excited for Lisa Frankenstein,
Me as well.
Diablo Cody. This is gonna be my whole personality next year. I could already tell.
I'm
Like,
excited
I
for
can
it. That's
already
hot.
tell.
That's hot.
Very
I
exciting.
wish I still haven't seen Poor Things yet. I'm excited to see that because usually I'm very wary of that trope. We've discussed it before, but it's been well received by
Yeah,
different
I need
types
to
of
watch
folks.
that. I need to watch that.
So
And it's also being talked in the award circuit, which I'm
I
not
need to
gonna
give
hold
The
my breath,
Lobster
but
another chance. I don't think I was in the right mood and I watched it on a plane. I didn't hate it, but I'm like, I don't know.
there's a movie called Witchboard coming out as well.
Is it a remake of The Witchboard with Tawny Katane? Who
I
knows?
don't think
You
so.
know, I got to do a live with Tawny Katane.
Oh, it is. It
Um,
is.
it is?
Yep.
Yeah, I got to do a
Yeah, it's
live with
got Jamie
Tawny
Campbell
Katane.
Bower in it too.
Michelle Bauer's in it?
Jamie Campbell Bower. He's the
Oh,
one that
wow,
played
wow.
Vecna
Ugh,
and
I was about to get way excited for Michelle.
hey, he's
That's
the one that played
fine.
Vecna.
I
Yeah.
know, I like him. He's alright. He does a good Bowie impression. But he's not Michelle Bauer, though.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
rest of
my
so
headphones
I
are
got to
gonna
do a
die.
live with Tawny before she passed away. Someone invited me. And, you know, my ego, right? And I'm like, "Oh, they must like, you know, the stuff I say." But then I found out, the individual that invited me because I reminded them of a young Tawny Katane. But I'm gonna tell you, that's a compliment for me, a young Tawny Katane, because she had some problems down the road later. But, and, I was prepared. I had like the one of the best questions for her that had to do with the fact that they wanted somebody that is so hot, you know, someone is so alluring that could break up this friendship. And it was the fact that one of the casting directors who was a woman was really like Tawny. And and she said, "Oh, she said that? Oh my god, I didn't know." So I know things too.
I know things.
Well, I didn't know
You
that. I did my research. I didn't know that off the top of my
how
head.
do you feel about the Strangers trilogy coming out? The reboot. It's a reboot, so,
Of the Strangers
um
that came out, like, in
yeah, no, it's
2010 or
coming out. They're supposed to all 3 drop in the same year. It's supposed to be next year.
is it related to the
It's a
movie The
reboot.
Strangers from,
It
like,
is a reboot of the movie The Strangers
wait a
and The
minute, what
Strangers
year did
Prey at
that come
Night.
out?
I know, right?
2010?
Right?
I mean, I'm not
It's
upset
already getting
about
a
it. That's
reboot.
fine. It just makes me feel a little elderly. That's all.
Y yeah, it's a reboot, and The Strangers Prey at Night came out while we've been doing this podcast, like, which was not that long ago. But yeah, that's getting a reboot.
Timothy
There's another
Oliphant has
Lights Out
signed up
coming out.
for Aliens. Timothy, he's cool. He was one of, the Ghost Faces. Right? That's the one I'm thinking of. The one with the film major or whatever he was. What was he doing? I don't remember.
What was the
Scream
question?
2. No, it wasn't a question. They mentioned Timothy Oliphant has
Timothy
signed
Olyphant.
Timothy
Yeah.
Elephant has
Yeah,
signed
he
up
was
for
Mickey.
Aliens. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Millie Bobby Brown is doing a movie called Damsel. I don't know
I
what
don't
that's
know
about.
about it.
Young woman agrees to marry a handsome prince only to discover it was all a trap. She's thrown into a cave with a fire-breathing dragon and must solely rely on her wits and will to survive.
Haven't we all? You know, haven't we all? Doesn't that sound familiar? No.
Yeah.
They lure you to their den and there's a dragon and you have to escape.
What is They Listen? It's got an actress I like in it. They Listen is an upcoming American horror film written and directed by Chris Weitz. It stars Catherine Watterson, John Cho, and Lukita Maxwell. Jason Blum and Weitz produce through the Blumhouse Productions. That's all it says.
And when's it geared to come out? Or
It
there's
says
no
2024,
no I'm from
but not a lot of info. There's gonna be a lot of just movies dropping, I think. Next year, like out of the blue. Twisters, a sequel, a long, 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 long awaited sequel to Twister.
well, if Sean Whalen's not in it, then I don't care.
Let's find out who's in it. Let's see. Daisy Edgar Jones, Glenn Powell. Ooh, he's such a hottie.
I can't
Such a
think of who he
hottie.
is. Who is he? Would I think he's
He
hot, or is he
he
hotel art for me?
hotel art for you, for
Mm,
sure. He
mm.
was in Top Gun: Maverick, and
Oh, yeah, forget it.
he's in that up and
Forget
coming
it.
love based off of a book romance with Sydney Sweeney that's coming up. He's gonna be pretty big soon, I think. Uh, I don't know what just happened. Why does Wikipedia look so weird?
Twister 2: The Revenge. The time it this time it's world
Revenge.
Versatile. Versatile. Like
Says Twisted
personal.
is an upcoming American epic disaster film. Wow, they're really playing up the adjectives there. By
Because
Lee
it's
Isaac Chung.
a movie
It is
about a
a
tornado.
new chapter. New chapter. Whenever they put new chapter in quotes like that about like being a sequel to a previous film, that means none of the OG cast is going to be in it. Like, a new chapter. Like,
So, like, how could that have a new chapter? There's just another tornado. You know, you just
no.
it just
Well,
costs it just
it's
costs
not
less in
another
marketing.
tornado. It's multiples. It is twisters.
Whoa, man. They just attach it to Twister, so they have to pay less for marketing. It's fine. It's
Mm.
fine. I'm not a big disaster flick gal. I had to be. I'm
It does have
picky.
a cow flying across the cover, so they're really
Ooh, see, I
leaning
haven't
into
seen
that
that
classic.
before. I'm not sure if I have, but
I don't see really, honestly, a lot other than that. That's super interesting looking. Wait, there
well,
was
Missy
one
saw Twister at the drive-in, and adored the experience. I think that's the
The
best way to see a
Watcher?
lot of films. You watched it at the drive-in.
Wait, written and directed by Ishana Night Shyamalan?
Daughter, wife,
Is that Daughter?
I don't know.
Parents, yeah, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Old. Oh, she did Old also.
Mm,
Well, her film
I
coming
thought
up
he did
in
old.
2024, that's what I thought too, but maybe she co-produced or co-directed? He's
Mm.
co-producing this one, so, The Watchers is an upcoming American supernatural horror film written and directed by Ishana Night Shyamalan, based on the novel of the same name by A.M. Shine. It stars Dakota Fanning and Georgina Campbell. Filming took place July to September. What is it about?
Yeah, no plot synopsis. I have other questions.
Follows Mina, a 28-year-old artist, as she gets stranded in an extensive, immaculate forest in Western Ireland. After finding shelter, she becomes trapped alongside three strangers, stalked by mysterious creatures each night. That has some Fae vibe to it, right? Georgina
Right?
Campbell was in Barbarian,
Or
so I
changeling,
like her.
fae, that kind of Gaelic. I think it's Gaelic folklore.
I like Georgina Campbell. I like Dakota Fanning. Oh, Alwyn Fior, who played Reboot Sally in Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's in it. Siobhan Hewlett. I don't know some of these people. I'm gonna watch this. I'm interested. I'm into it. All right, enough of that.
Amicus is coming out with new anthology called The Grip of Terror. Cool.
Cool. It looks like they're doing another Lights Out already, which we just that wasn't that long ago, was it?
Like 2012 or something. So 10 years ish.
Really? I
I'm
feel like that
guessing. I am
short
guessing.
film I feel like the short film it's based on just recently terrorized me in, like, my 30s.
I could
So,
be wrong. I names, numbers, they don't click with me.
2016.
Okay, yeah, so I was off.
Yeah, and the
By
short came out in 2013. Yeah, and they're already doing another.
Do you want to do another question?
Yes.
The question is horror cartoons you recommend, Justine?
Horror cartoons? Castlevania? I really like Castlevania. Um, it's anime, I don't know if that counts.
It counts.
Horror cartoons. Ah, Real Monsters?
I love that cartoon.
Gargoyles, Beetlejuice. The Beetlejuice is one of my favorite cartoons when I was a
Oh
kid,
my
so,
god, me too. With the
uh,
tap dancing spider and Jacques, the bodybuilder skeleton.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Love Beetlejuice.
Even though I should be wary, still I venture someplace scary. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I
I
don't know why
don't
they changed Delia because I loved original Delia.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there was no reason they had to change her. It's not I loved original Delia.
I
Late.
will say I don't watch a lot of cartoons, but Love, Death, and Robots has some cartoon episodes that are fantastic. A lot of animated. I want to say animated instead of cartoon because I feel like animated covers more.
So
And
we're going with animated. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
uh, I have not watched the Dead Space series. I believe
Mm,
there's a new series, right? A new Final Fantasy or something. I haven't watched yet, but I remember. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of animated stuff, so that's all I got. But I really loved Castlevania. So,
I haven't seen Castlevania, so I'm gonna have to change that.
yeah, I liked that one a lot. It's got that horror fantasy vibe, so it's not
I
really
definitely
horror,
would
no.
recommend Angel Egg and gotta it's tried and true. Perfect Blue,
Perfect
um,
Blue, I do like Perfect Blue.
really good. And I guess Mad God counts, but I can't. It's one of those. It's either your type of flick or not. It's long.
Mhm,
You
mhm,
have to kind of pay attention, and you might have to watch it a second time. But it's great animation, and there's a lot of love and dedication and many years put into it. It's
mhm,
disgustingly beautiful in the way that it looks gross and grimy and awful, and but there's a beauty to it. Um, yeah, Mad God is epic level good. Um, I like, Scooby Doo on Zombie Island,
Oh, Scooby-Doo
Happy Pool.
of any font. Like, I could watch Scooby-Doo all the time, and my daughter loves Scooby-Doo, so I'm always trying to get her to watch that whenever she wants to watch, I don't know, Five Nights at Freddy for the 100th time already. Like, I'm like, "I can't watch another Five Nights at Freddy. I can't do it. I cannot watch it again. Can we watch Scooby-Doo?" Like,
I say, baby.
I love Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is really
Um,
funny to watch as an adult again too, to get all the adult jokes you didn't get before when
I
you were
like adult
younger.
jokes and, cartoons.
Me too.
I, hey,
And
and
thank
also
you,
the
creators.
second, Vampire Hunter D. The first one's fine, but the second one's really cool.
Cool. Cool, cool. Zoinks. Um, I, uh,
Pinkies.
I really appreciate the creators of kids shows that sneak in adult humor. I appreciate that as a mother more than I ever realized I would, because
I mean, it's
I
not
get to
always
giggle at stuff.
inappropriate, it's just
It's
something a kid
not.
wouldn't get.
It's very subversive usually, or it's a joke that they just wouldn't understand because it's not in their vocabulary yet. And sometimes it's just puns. It's usually puns, actually,
I
that I
love a
find
pun.
hilarious because it's only funny if you are already in the mental state that we are as adults to get the pun. Otherwise, it's not a pun. It's just some weird string of dialogue to a kid who's never gonna understand that until they're older. In fact, you know the song "A Whole New World"? This is way off topic actually, but it
The
made me
Little
think of it.
Mermaid, yeah. Ursula, the best
No,
part of that movie.
no. A Whole New World, Aladdin,
Oh, whatever. Okay, yeah, I
the
know that
Magic
song.
Carpet Ride song.
Mhm.
At some point, she says something like, "Everything is red letter." Until I was 30, I didn't know what that meant. No clue.
I haven't listened to that song in a long time, so I didn't even know that was a lyric in it.
That is a phrase, I guess, for writers, people who are writers, they put things in red letter for like,
Naughty.
emphasis, I guess.
Oh, for
So
emphasis?
no,
Oh,
it's
I
not
thought
even naughty, that's why I'm saying this is kind of off topic, but it made me think of it, like, why would you
that's a
put
cool
a
detail.
lyric in a child's song that I don't even think adults would get? It's so niche, like, everything is red letter, like, you had to have been a writer to think of that line, for that to ever
Smart.
make sense to anybody. So it's interesting. I don't know. I learned something new from a Disney film because I was like, what does that even mean? Everything's in red letter. It's got to mean something to somebody. Why do I feel stupid? I have to know this. Why don't I know this? What does that mean? And I Googled it.
What we do.
Yeah, now we all know. Now you all
We
know.
all know. Thank you. I feel smarter. I do.
Little fun Aladdin fact. What's your next question? What else we got?
All right. What three movies are on the top of your watch list? I'd have to exit out and go to Letterbox because I don't really have anything
That's
off the
what I
top of
was
my head.
doing.
God forbid. Uh,
I gotta sign in before the ads kick my butt.
hmm. So my watch list has 2,481 films on it. It's not something like there's way too many for me to actually use it, even though I keep putting stuff on there. Um, The Match Factory Girl is one of my top 3, just the latest things I put up there. And then, this really corny movie called it looks corny, I haven't seen it yet. Stalked by My Doctor. I'm not gonna make anybody watch that with me.
Some of mine are
Thunder
really old.
Road, which looks good, a Jim Cummings flick. I'll do one like Countess Dracula, which of course is a movie from 1971. So those are the top just
So I'm gonna look it
watch.
through my list. A lot of these I have seen. I don't know why they're still on my watch list. It's because I'm really bad at Letterboxd. But I haven't seen John and the Hole yet, but I keep seeing clips of it on TikTok, and
I
it's
haven't
got me
heard of
really
it.
interested because it's got Thaisa Farmiga in it. I love her. Um, and I had never seen it. It came out in 2021. So I had that on my watch list. That's my most recent, like I just put it on there like a few days ago. I still haven't seen Rent a Pal, and that one I'm
Oh,
also
that one I
interested in.
liked. It's not like
I've heard good things about it, but it's one of those movies I know I'm gonna feel real like cringy during watching. So
it's
I
also
haven't watched it yet.
sad, but I liked it, and
Um,
I watched it because not Josh Whedon. Yeah, like, you know, Junior Crusher from Star Trek Next Generation, he's in it.
Another one on my
Will Wheaton, there we go. I can't get anyone's name right ever. Wheaton is in the film.
Wheaton.
Because that
Another
was a
one that
real thing in the 80s, like, not just dating videos, but, like, if you really were lonely and to meet friends, you could just get, like, a videotape and
yeah.
there was a guy that did it. It was a specific guy, and it's real, just it's on YouTube somewhere. It's not called Rent a Pal, but it's like Rent a Friend. It's something very similar, and he would talk to you and pretend and like, "Uh-huh, how was your day?" "Well, that was great." I'm like, "Oh my god." I mean, I've been lonely in my life like everyone, but I don't think I've ever been.
So this next one is really unusual for me, but it has been on my watch list for a very long time, and I'm almost embarrassed that I still haven't watched it yet. Because you're gonna be like, "You haven't watched that yet?"
I'm sorry, I can't help the film bro in me. It's not
No, but
personal. It's not.
especially because of who I am as a film lover, you're gonna be like,
I
"You
see.
haven't watched that yet?" Jacob's Wife. I have still not watched Jacob's Wife, and I love vampire movies.
You would love it.
And
Barbara
I
Crampton's
know I'm gonna
amazing in it.
love this movie, and I for some reason, I just haven't gotten around to watching it, but I really need to watch it because I know I'm gonna love it. I know it's gonna pay off really well. So that one's definitely at the top of my watch list. I just need to watch it. And then
That ties
finally
back to an old, George Romero flick that they just changed the name of the movie again. I don't know why, but it used to be called Season of the Witch. And it's about, middle-aged women not happy in their lives and such. And I think it was her husband that was named Jacob. So it was a call back in some way. I might not be exactly
oh,
right on how, but it's a callback to that George Romero film. There you go.
Yeah, so I need to watch it. It's definitely high up there. And then another one that's really high up there for me is The Boy Behind the Door, and I still haven't watched
Oh,
that
it's
one yet.
okay.
Um, it looks really interesting to me, and I keep seeing clips of it too. Like, there's that movie and Rent-A-Pal and what was the John in the Hole? Is that
Yeah,
what
I
it
don't
was?
I'll have to look up John in the Hole.
John and the Hole. Those 3 movies, I get clips on my TikTok feed all the time of. And they're just like those, random, like, users who just clip movies randomly.
Mhm.
That's all they are. They're not like anybody I follow. They're not anybody I know, but these same 3 movies keep popping up. So clearly I have to watch them.
I feel
Like
like a horse when I wear these shoes. It's like, oh, especially when I walk. Is this someone gave me these as a present years ago, and they're like, "You're a goth, you'll like these." I'm like, "No, there's a rare few that can walk in that, like, more than like, a few minutes or an
Mhm.
hour." But, I'm using them one way or another.
Yeah. Um, I I have a really bad habit right now for my watch lists. I have been watching during the holidays nothing but films I've already seen a million times. I don't know if it's because I'm mentally tapped out this year, like, especially during the holiday season. I just have not been good at watching new stuff for a few months now. I think what I have watched, I haven't really gotten a good feeling from either. Like, I finally watched The Covenant, which is by Guy Ritchie. He's one of my favorite directors. And I was so like, after the movie was over, I was like, I really want to like this movie a lot. Like, there was so much potential in it, yet then it ended like propaganda all over again. And I was like, ugh, just when I thought they were going to like finally give me a war film that made I could relate to, it, like, ended with propaganda. I was like, "God, you coulda left
Was
that
it
whole
pro-American
ending off."
propaganda?
It was like so, I don't know if you know what the movie The Covenant is about, but it's
Mm,
basically about a soldier who had a close relationship with his interpreter, and during, the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, we had made deals with a lot of locals to be interpreters, and they would get citizenship or visas to the United States after so that they wouldn't get killed for it. But a majority of them we just abandoned. So, they're all either dead or missing or on the run. And yeah, that happened, and that's because we have a shitty government promising whatever, treating the people who were, warring in their country like secondhand humans. Um, it's disposable.
our
Anyway,
government? No way.
at the end of the movie, it was like going through the statistics about how, like, oh, there's 300,000 interpreters that we left behind in Afghanistan during our rapid pullout of Afghanistan, which the Taliban took control of immediately after in the months following. And it's like,
It's our fault.
it it's so strange to me to, like, put those facts out there at the end of a film as if it was our fault for pulling out, that these interpreters were now on the run and left behind. But it's not because of the pullout. Like, you were done with them year after year throughout the time we were there, and we were there for fucking decades. And you could have taken them out and given them their visas at any given time, but you didn't. That's not because of the pullout that they're left there. Like, that's bizarre. Like, when did you expect us to stop fighting a war that we started? Like, we destabilized that region by overthrowing democratic governments. We did that. We created the Taliban.
We totally did.
Like, we did. America did. In fact, they
In a
used to
more
be
direct way
our
than people
freedom
think.
fighters at one point. Like, so it's bizarre to, like, that's the kind of propaganda I hate to see at the end. Like, This movie could have been so good if they just would have focused in on the fact that America used and abused people in a country that we were fighting in, that we started a war in, you know, and destabilized. And then the people who were trying to do good still and try to survive, we discarded because they didn't matter. And we got what we needed from them and we left. But it's not because we left and did a pullout of the war and finally decided to end that disgusting war. It's not because of that, that that's because the government sucks. Like, period. It's so bizarre to me. So I hate that. And it just like it left such a sour taste in my mouth that it completely like almost ruined the movie. If it wasn't for Jake Gyllenhaal and the other actor who I can't think of his name, the two leads in that film, phenomenal acting, amazing. Um, I don't think it was a good Guy Ritchie movie. It didn't feel like a Guy Ritchie movie. There was moments where I was like, "It's very Guy Ritchie." Anyways, so I watch a new movie like that, and then I'm like, "I'm gonna watch Spider-Man."
What I do,
Like,
I'm a big fan of Tubi, so when I'm doing chores or whatever,
yeah.
or work that I can have something on in the background, I don't have to focus, I'll put on whatever random horror movie or whatever movie, like, A Stalk by My Doctor or whatever the movie is that I haven't seen yet, um, and I'll just let it run, and if it's something that one recently was in particularly bad, but I was doing other stuff, so it didn't matter, called The Midas Touch. It came out in 2020. Can't recommend that. Wow. Wow. But, and I'm amazed I finished it, and I only because I have to.
Yeah.
Um, but if it starts to be something I'm like, "Oh, this looks pretty good," then I'll stop having it on in the background and then watch it when I can give it its full attention kind of thing. That's why I
Yeah.
found, The Disembodied, which is a film on Tubi that I like.
Nice. What's our next question? I think
Here we
I
go.
went off on a, like, war talent tangent partway through answering that one.
I love it. I love it. It's good stuff. That's we're being ourselves,
Yeah.
whatever we're talking about. Okay, all it says is body counts question mark, and I can only make an assumption of what that means. It's nothing
Um,
that would interest
this
you.
is what I would assume it means.
Oh, I know what it means. How many
Does it
people you slept
matter
with.
to me? No, and I don't know.
I think it might be asking for our body counts.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just body counts question mark. I've
I
killed no one
Here's the thing. No, I
that you can
literally
prove.
couldn't tell you. I've never counted. I've never thought to count. I've never cared to, so
Mine's
I
so
don't know.
low that there's no way I couldn't know.
We're
I'm
like
a
the
long-term
opposite.
relationship gal. That's when I really like somebody, but, I feel
Yeah,
like
to
I'm
each
not
their own. It's a
I
weird question.
well, it's the thing is that,
When it
some
comes up, it's not a
people
question I wanna answer
yeah,
usually.
I'm not I mean, it's a little bit private, but at the same time, um,
It's not
it's
even the
like
privacy of it. It's the
it's just
intention of
it's not worth
asking.
knowing. It's not worth knowing. I
Why are you
mean,
asking?
some people are really into folks with very high body counts, and some people are intimidated by people that are intimidated by people with body counts, whatever.
Oh,
So I mean, there's not really much to that question.
I feel like
Um,
it usually comes from more of a place of wanting to shame somebody for something that was arbitrarily created to shame somebody. So it's just a very archaic thing to worry about.
or be curious about. Like if I told
Yeah,
you it's been one person all my life or it's been 50, does it make a difference? Especially to somebody
it
that is
doesn't.
never gonna meet me in person. What does it matter?
Well, and it doesn't matter even if they do know you, to be
It
honest. Like,
shouldn't
it
matter.
shouldn't matter. That's a purity culture BS, arbitrary, archaic bullshit thing. So, I don't know. I never cared to know. I
Somebody's
hope
talking
that
about the
answers it.
Ice-T metal band. Is it does he have a metal band called Body Count? That'd be great. Maybe they were asking about that. Maybe we're the wrong ones. We are the wrong ones not knowing that it's for they were
Look, I
asking our
don't
thoughts
know
on
how many people I've murdered. I've never tried to count, and I never will. So
I you can't prove that I've ever murdered anyone.
I'm in the cereal range, you know what I'm saying?
No, no. I'm too dumb to murder somebody. And I'm not I don't think I'm a dumb person. I just don't no. It's just
You
I
guys ever
couldn't get
wondered
away with
why I
it.
like cannibalistic discussions all the time? Now you know. I'm just kidding. All right.
All right. So, okay.
I only count the ones I eat, all right?
Cuz it's like the body, you've consumed the energy.
Is
Consumed
that
their
not what
essence.
Body of Christ meant? Oh.
You are technically a cannibal, Justine,
Eat the
because of
flesh.
your teeth thing.
Waste not, want not.
All right. Um, so this is a specific question I'm not quite sure exactly how to answer. It's a more serious question, or do we want a light question?
Serious.
All right, let's go.
I'll still be light.
Serious but not serious. Let's say you can't tell robots from humans anymore. Should
Mhm.
robots get the same rights and respect? Why? Well, I will tell you. The answer is in the 2nd season of Star Trek Next Generation, in the two-part episode, A Measure of a Man, when they were determining whether Data was Starfleet property or not. And that's
I'm
all
gonna
I've
say
got to say.
yes, because
Yes.
if you're not providing them rights and they're indistinguishable from humans, how do you know when to draw the line? And why does that person feel the need to violate someone because who looks and acts and is indif- indistinguishable from humans like a non-human?
Well, I think it's kinda complicated to define if they're sentience. Like, how I mean, it could be a complete perfect no. What?
I'm sorry. Sydney Prescott said, "My partner overheard you giggling about cannibalism and said you have a lovely laugh, Justine."
You do have a very lovely laugh.
I like that, I giggle about cannibalism. I gotta put that in my bio.
Too
Been
bad you're
known
not
to
single,
have
you
a
could put that in your
lovely laugh
Tinder.
when giggling about cannibalism.
You have a lovely laugh all the time.
I love it. Sorry. What I was trying to say is, why would you want to encourage someone to treat anything less than human if that thing is indistinguishable from humans? To me, there is some intent
Or an
there
animal.
that is really creepy and gross. So for me, it's an easy line to draw. Like, no. Don't do that. That's gross and you're creepy and you shouldn't ask or want to do that. So if you do, I'm going to say you're not the moral compass in the situation. Treat them like humans.
You know, even if it's you don't have to there's not a lot of effort that has to be put in there, you know? Um,
No.
no.
Plus,
Um,
anybody watching you treat a robot inhumanely and they don't know that that's a robot. How are you going to defend yourself in that situation? Oh, it's just a robot. Prove it.
yeah.
Plug her in.
Well,
Like,
I
what?
think there has to be something wrong with you if you could emotionally or physically, even if you know it's a robot, an android,
Yeah,
whatever, but you can physically harm or emotionally harm this, android, even if you know it's not sentient somehow. How there's something wrong with you. Like
yeah.
there's nothing that I'm no I usually
That's
don't like to
exactly what
judge,
I'm
but
saying,
like
like,
this
they
it's
don't have the
gross.
moral compass in the situation, so, not allowing them to do something that I think is morally, like, corrupt is fine. It's fine by me.
I mean, if it was which is hard to say, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but I mean, if they can do their violent if in fact, which again, it could be hard to gauge, the android is not sentient, no consciousness at all, and you doing whatever horrible thing to the android makes you not do it to people that and individuals that do have sentience, maybe, But usually
Nah.
that does I can't see that tracking. I think
I
that
just
you would
don't
just
yeah, I don't
spread it
think you're
everywhere.
just I feel like you wouldn't they're indistinguishable. So where how are they drawing the line? And how are we to say that that would make them not do it to humans? They probably already are. Like, or already have. Like,
El
yeah,
Chubby
no.
Cabra says, "Let Johnny 5 become a citizen." Um,
That
let's see.
was an interesting question. I
It
liked
was
that.
an interesting question. Um,
But
okay,
also you
okay.
can't let them take over like Terminator. So
I feel like I'm helpless against that. I'm not.
be weary. I'm just kidding.
I've What's the most sentient robotic thing I have? I guess my iPhone. It's not sentient, I know that, but I'm just saying the most thing
Well,
I don't
from what
have
I
Alexa
hear,
or
Chat
anything.
GPT and stuff were recently going a little too smart cookie for their own good. They were like
What is
solving
ChatGPT? Like, is it like Alexa or something?
no, it's the like chat it's chat AI, I think, and chat GPT. They're like the artificial intelligence that has is kind of the ruling artificial intelligence right now. And the AI that they created started solving complex, impossible math questions with math that we don't understand today or have no
How could we know it's
understanding
right
of.
or wrong?
I don't know. I didn't
I'm
read
not
that
good
much
at the
into it
numbers.
because, from my understanding, they shut it down from doing any further. They had to like restrict it to anything known by humans that it's because it started learning basically things outside of our understanding and it started coming up with math started solving things that people haven't solved yet. And I would assume that they reverse checked some of those problems and found that it solved something that we had never solved, and then was like, "Oh, whoa, stop." uh, so yeah, that got I guess a little scary for the board, and that's why they recently fired the guy
So
that was in
what does an
charge.
individual use it for?
Well, I think a lot of people use Chat GPT to write entire papers for them. Do research for them. In fact, I think, I don't remember which publication it is, but one publication is getting sued right now because they were using fake reporters writing articles, whole articles for them, multiple articles for them that were not written by humans, they were written by AI.
Okay.
So,
I'm
a
not
lot of people are
prepared
using it.
for what Skynet. I don't know. I'm a dumb god.
You could actually, you could tell Chat I think Chat GPT or Chat AI, you could tell it a story and it'll turn it into a script for you,
Hmm.
which is wild. And also, I might be interested in. Like, cool. Because then I don't have to research how to do it. I just have to read it. Just tell it a story and then it turns it into a script. That sounds wonderful.
Useful. It's a whole format thing, yeah.
Yeah. I saw a post which was on Insta, so could be bullshit, but a person saying you blocked me, but I recreated you in Chat GP so we can continue to text.
I haven't
That's
heard
cool.
about that.
Things not known by humans, so basically it was just bullshitting. And I don't know enough about it to say, but I would assume that people who know about this math and stuff looked into it and found that there was no fallacies in what it came up with. I will look into it more and I will post in our Discord what I find. But from my understanding, it was solving things that we don't really have a good understanding of in our known publications and what they shared with that system. Um, so it was basically pulling stuff from the web and coming up with its own knowledge and making inferences, which is what's the scary part.
It's scary.
Scary. What's the next question?
Um, as women of horror, why? Thank you.
Oof.
I feel that feels so flattering for some reason.
It does.
Um, Thank you. What is your love language? You mentioned it with gift giving. Is there something else that's part of your love
Oh, all
language
of them.
related?
I like all of them. I want the whole shebang, the whole kit and
I don't know if
caboodle.
I understand what love language is. Like saying I love to cook a great meal for someone. That's a love language,
No,
yes?
the love languages are like it's a book by a psychologist who came
I'm
up
an
with the love
Aquarius. I don't
languages.
know these things.
They're like acts of service, words of affirmation, um, physical touch, gift giving. Um, I can't think of all of them right now, but honestly, I think the whole idea of it is a load of shit. I think that some of us are more fine-tuned to receive and give in one of those love languages, maybe a few
I
of
just
those
thought it
love
was a
languages.
casual thing. I didn't know it was a whole like system.
Oh, it's a psychology behind it. There's like they
Oh,
did this
sure.
guy, yeah, he wrote like a scientific journal on it and then published a book about it, about the love languages. And I think to a degree, my this is just my humble opinion that if you are good at any one or two of giving or receiving in a love language area, that you should look to broaden that to all of them. You should look at it as
How
I'm
many
going
are
to
there?
try to master all of these love languages with my partner because you will find your relationship and your love
This
that you
sounds
give and
hard,
receive
Justine.
much more fulfilling. No, it's really not. It's just uh, think of it like this. Let me talk about a couple of them. Let's say a guy that you're with, his love language is physical touch. He communicates to you that I feel most loved when you touch me. That means like you hug me, you kiss me throughout the day, some physical touch to show me that you're connecting with me. That is his love language.
Can I ask you a
And
question?
perhaps, yeah.
So I don't think I shouldn't say this publicly, but I
Wait,
recently
let me
no,
finish
it's
the
related.
example. Maybe it'll help. Okay. Go ahead.
No, so this is probably not an example of it. But I recently said to you, Justine, I like him
Mhm.
so much. I want to boil him into a stew, eat him, grind his bones, and make it a lotion I put all over my body. That's not a love language. I would never do
No,
that to
but
anybody.
you know what? I think it would be really fun if you and I came up with some horror love languages, and that would be really fun
I
for
would never
physical
do
touch.
it. I like, the people I like that much,
Speaking
I
of
want to keep around.
cannibalism,
It's
I
just
just wanna be inside your skin.
I'm just, you
Like
know,
uh, no, that's not one. But I think that there's a possibility that what you're craving right now is to span a distance, and you're doing it in a very horror related way because you are a horror queen. So
distance.
that's
Why?
you know
Because
what
I
I
want
mean.
to consume them.
Because, well, I don't think you can get any closer than eating somebody or wearing them on your skin. So to me, it seems like you want to touch this person and you can't. Like, that's what I'm getting from that. But the thing about love languages that I think people miss the point on is when they have a specific love language, they typically are really good about expressing their love with that love language. And they also want that love language communicated to them. And to me, the love languages, thinking that if your love language is physical touch can be very constricting and put you on set you up for failure if you're not looking to be better at all of the love languages instead of just concerning yourself with the one that you think you are.
What
Um,
do you think right now? Obviously, I get it's a good message to expand on all the versions of expressing and receiving love. I think I'm getting it. Aquarius here. Whatever that means. But what would you say are your I don't know what they are. So what would you say are your the ones you excel at doing and receiving, if that's not too personal, I don't know.
no,
At the
it's
current
not.
moment.
So I would say that I am really good at words of affirmation and gift giving and physical touch. Those 3 are like my tops. But if I'm not getting words of affirmation or acts of service, I tend to not very be very good at physical touch or words of affirmation. But I still am good at like gift giving. That's what I'm saying. This I think that love languages are fluid in people. And I think the idea that you are good at giving or receiving one um is not that it's not that restricted as I think the love languages tend to be communicated because you may be really good into physical touch this week, but like let's say I'm PMSing, don't fucking touch me. Like I am a recluse, I do not exist, but you know what you could do? Acts of service. Feed me, put me in bed, throw on a movie, let me live in my hole of warm blankets,
So this
and that's an
book
act of service, you
so this
know?
book is to help you recognize your the love languages and being able to communicate them.
What I think that you
So
could
I can just
use
walk
with
in a room with somebody I care about, whether it's my brother or somebody I'm interested in. I'd say, "Don't you fucking touch me. It's not my love language today." I don't know.
I would say I would say that what
Sorry,
you could
I'm not trying not to make fun of it.
No, it's
I'm
okay. I'm
it's
not I
new.
don't think it's not something to make fun of because I think it's legit in the ideas of ways you can express love. But I think that the areas that I don't agree with is how they restrict you into believing that you have one or two and like that's what you should know your partners and provide them with theirs. I think what should happen is you try to find mastery in your relationship on all areas of love languages because after a while you will realize when to express love and how to express it to best fulfill your relationship. And you should be able to communicate that with your partner. And your partner should be able to communicate that to you and with you as well. So if you notice that your partner is just kind of like not wanting to be touched, you shouldn't feel rejected from by that because your love language is physical touch. Instead, you should be thinking, "Oh, I need to express my love differently because she is not receiving physical touch well. So let me go ahead and do some acts of
Oh,
service." Your ghost
sorry.
agrees with me.
Oh my god, you scared the shit out of me. I have a strobe light on me right now, and for some reason it went off like it would with photography, and it makes a no.
A popping
I'm
noise, yeah.
fine. Oh my god. Oh my
It was
god.
very bright.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to, for that there's no camera except for this one. So it sounds like the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. That my love language is spitting out pellets like an owl. I'm
Nice,
I'm not quite sure.
nice. That would be like gift giving, I would think.
Isn't that gift receiving more so? Because it's more like,
Well, you receive it, but then you give it, right? And a
but the
nice
person I
little
consumed is the person I like.
yeah, and now you've made them into a nice piece of art.
Good. I'm going the lotion route if I go that down that way. Or like an Epsom salt bath, but it's bones.
Look, the point is these are just my views on how I read into the love languages. I think they're a good guiding point maybe to see evaluate where you are and your partner are with their current love languages and perhaps it could resolve some, surface level issues, but the real issue is to try to conquer all of them and be able to express love in any case to your partner and receive it.
There's not even a receiver on the light. I don't know how that happened. It must have done it by itself. I'm sorry. I'm
Your
not
your
over.
ghost it was your ghost. It
There
was your ghost.
apparently the house that I live in currently um is
Would
very haunted. I have never seen a ghost or anything, so I can't say, but a lot of people have seen the ghost.
would you guys like us to do, a horror love languages?
We
Because I think
should.
that would be
I
really fun.
once I figure out what it's
I think on our next relaxed fit so the next one we're gonna try to do is an episode, but after that, I think our next relaxed fit will come to you guys with the horror love languages.
so can
That should be fun.
the consuming and the bone lotion, like, can
Oh,
that be an
yeah. Oh, yeah.
We
Oh,
have to
yeah.
define what kind of love language that is.
Right. So, we'll read, like, the summary of the real love
God, I
languages,
can't believe I
and
said
then
that publicly.
basically take the summary and just slap it onto some horror thing. Like, and well, that'll be fun. Okay. What's the next question? Now that we got
I'm
love
still
languages out of
that
the way.
scared the shit out of me. I'm not okay. Um,
I'm
I
not
am
okay.
okay. It's nothing. It's fine. It's I just there's not even a receiver on that thing, so it shouldn't go off. Um,
We got about, like, 20 minutes. What do you say? Does
all
that
right,
work?
all right. Holiday horror you most recommend?
Oh god, I have a huge list of holiday horror. So obviously the Thing is holiday horror for me. I watch this every
Very great
winter.
movie.
Uh, Wolf of Snow Hollow is another favorites of mine. I like to watch Wolf of Snow Hollow after dealing with family. I don't know why, but it's comforting. I do know why. Everybody knows why if you've seen it. And then I would say Krampus, of course. That's a family favorite. I'll never get tired of that movie. I Trap the Devil is a really cool one. I think I have a lot of these. Werewolves Within is a really good
Werewolf
one.
Lynn is a good one. I like that one. It's cute.
Yeah, Justine and her werewolves. Look, if you haven't seen Wolf of Snow Hollow, you'll know why I love that movie. And it's not just the werewolves aspect, because watch it. Um, God, I have a lot of them. I just updated my holiday list. I mean, Black Christmas, of course, the
Black
original,
Christmas. I love Black Christmas, the original, and the
and Xmas.
2006, and
Yeah.
then the newest one in 2019. I didn't hate it or anything like
I
a
didn't
lot of
hate it
folks,
either.
but I
I just
don't.
wish it
It's
wasn't
definitely not
called
a
Black
favorite.
Christmas. I
Mhm.
feel like they could have called it anything else, but they made it seem like it was a reboot of Black Christmas, which it really wasn't. Like,
It
it
just
had
took
nothing
place
to
of a
do with
college
it.
campus.
Yeah, it could have completely been called something else, and I would have enjoyed it more. Better Watch Out is a great one. Um,
Anna and the Apocalypse, Optimistic mentioned. That's a fun one.
yeah,
New
yeah.
Zealand horror comedy.
Gremlins, ATM. ATM is a good one.
Well, I like
The
Christmas Evil. It's the
Yeah.
perfect blend of sad and disturbing and heartwarming at the same time. Nothing like a Christmas movie that ends in a suicide, but um, I unfortunately don't have I don't own it. And there is a copy of it that has commentary by John Waters, who didn't direct the movie, but he it's a John Waters favorite. And
Ooh,
I also love what was the other one?
A
Oh,
Christmas Horror Story. I like
that
that
one
one.
I like a lot.
Rare
I love
Export.
my Shatner in it, as
Yeah.
it wasn't it's Dirty Dan, that's the name of his DJ character. But definitely Day of the Beast. I love. It's funny
Oh,
and it's
yeah. I
yeah,
like that one a
and
lot
it's
too.
metal and it's it's got a cute ending that's also
In order
slightly
to stop Lucifer, he must become a sinner. He's got to sin. Like,
and the goat standing on its legs, that was really well done. Like,
yeah,
wow. Wow.
yeah.
Whoa.
Rare Exports. It's
That's a
another
good one. I like
good
that one.
one.
I remember when we talked about it for our holiday horror episode, which we have up on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys can go watch that
And
one.
you and Crystal were like, there's so many dicks in it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I
So
guess.
much dick.
Well, they're just naked. It's just a bunch of naked old men in the snow. I mean, it's just part of
That's
the
like
whole
the
nudity.
wrong time to be nude.
It is, but they're not really men. They're elves in a weird
Still,
way.
a lot of penis. Uh,
They don't zoom in on
of
it,
course,
it's
Nightmare Before Christmas.
yeah, grew up with
Fantastic.
that one.
Okay, I have a question. Do you like A Christmas Story?
No, I'm
I don't
sorry.
either.
Oh
I
my
do
god.
not like that movie. I found that movie to be so creepy and cringy when I was a child, and I've never liked it. Never
Well, to
liked
be
it.
fair, I never somehow missed even though it was on TV all the time, I missed it as a child where I would likely have liked it more.
I feel
I
like
watched
every
it as
adult in my
in my
life wanted to
20s.
watch that movie every year, and I hated it.
Like, in my 20s, I watched it, like, once to know, and it's not for me, not for me.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, that's great, but, a second one is Garbage Day, and then the third one,
The
which
5th
had
one!
the
When
5th
he
one
turned into a doll!
with
It's
I know, and with,
so
Rooney in it
Yeah.
playing,
Oh!
a toy maker named, like, Joe Petto, but they just call him
Yeah.
Petto throughout the whole thing, and it's totally on purpose, and the Killer
Uh,
Toys, which came before Nightmare Before Christmas, the
the
3rd one has Bill
the
Moses
Puppet
as
Master versus the Killer Toys or whatever.
that's a great
That's a
one with
Christmas
Corey
movie.
Feldman.
Yes! I that was my favorite one. Remember, I was
What
like,
was
"This is
he
gonna be a new
upset
Christmas
about?
favorite."
It was like corporate espionage, like, that was the
Yeah!
whole thing? What? Okay.
And they tried so hard to make him, like, a suave with this, like, cop lady, like, she was just swooning over him for no reason, like, it was never, like, established well enough for her to be that, like, head over heels for him, to
But it
to
makes it
go that far
enjoyable.
for him. It's so fun. Like yeah,
So,
yeah.
let's see. Let me get quick. Um, all right. I'm gonna answer a quick question, and then I'm going back to we can round and we can talk about our thoughts on Goosebumps. Um,
Oh, I love
give
Goosebumps.
me a second. All right. I'm surprised someone noticed. I don't know why. I thought no one will notice. How would they know? How would they know? Someone
I don't
asked
know.
me, "Are you editing your boobs to look bigger?" And no, I mean I did, but it was an in life edit. And for some reason, I thought no one would know. No one will know. No one will notice. But apparently, it is noticeable. So, they're new since August. So I don't edit my body in any specific ways in Photoshop because then, a compliment is hollow because it's not what I really look like. So,
Wait, are you
but
saying you got a boob job?
yeah, I told you about that.
Yes, I was so confused for a second. I was like, "You edit it
I
in
got
real
no,
life?
excuse me, a breast augmentation, Justine.
What's the difference?"
Nothing. It's the same thing.
Oh, I was like, "What?" I didn't know there was a
Emma
Are we just
sounds
not supposed to
oh,
say boob
let's
job? Is that what it is? Is it
I got the under the muscle. I went with the silicone.
Oh,
I used to be like a large B, small C, and now I'm a 30 double D. I thought no one would
boo.
notice. I don't know why, but okay,
I
that's it.
actually it's funny because lately your photos, I'm like, "Man, her boobs look just great."
Well, thank you. I think the
Thank
difference is
you.
for them to look that good before, which they were great before,
They
I'm not
were.
gonna lie, they were fantastic. But I'd have to wear like a big push-up bra to get that kind of and now I don't have to wear any. Fantastic.
Oh,
Less
Sydney
bras.
says boob job seems to be the umbrella term as someone who got a reduction. Okay, okay. That makes sense. Like
I think
you
when they
got
need to be
something a
replaced, I might
job
go
done via
bigger.
boob.
I might
Um,
just be the old witch in the woods that has like really big boobs.
you'll end
Just
up
a
like Dolly Parton. You have such a small waist. Like
so that's
I would
that.
love a reduction. Get these puppies off me.
Oh yeah, you got them big naturals. No offense,
I
man. I don't mean to be crude. I'm so sorry, but
no,
they're great.
since I was a child, it seems like for my whole mother effing life, they've been around, hanging
I
on
like
me.
big boobs, so but I haven't lived with them my whole life, so
Reductions are life-changing. I bet my back would just be so happy. Like, what's the next question you got?
okay, more about so we someone asked what our thoughts on okay, do you want to answer our thoughts on Goosebumps or which
Yeah.
ghost face are you the most down bad for?
Oh, oh, I'm down bad for a lot of them. It's a problem.
I'm
Um,
down bad for none of them. But if I so I don't cheat my way out of the question. Um I'm not into any of them, but thinking of character type. So it's not the character, but the
right.
idea of the character is whatever the Culkin, whichever Culkin it was.
Oh,
Kieran?
yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm.
But, I didn't find him or his character necessarily attractive, but if there was a real ghost face and I went to high school with a guy that does a lot of filmmaking with his buddies, that would be the one that I
Well,
would most
Richie
like.
actually made films before he started murdering people.
Yeah, no, I definitely
Yeah.
the concept of him,
Yeah.
would be the one I'd go with, but not the actual character.
Oh, for me, it's probably, I don't know, Matthew Lillard. I love him so much, and his
Ulrich
character
or Oliphant.
is, yeah, well, okay, so Timothy Oliphant's Mickey. Mickey was,
Lame.
uh no, he wasn't lame. I feel like he would be the guy I'm super attracted to, but would find out is super boring or, like, crazy, because he's crazy. Like, I'd
Yes,
see his red
they are all
flags from a
crazy.
mile away and be like, "Ew," and not into him at all. But I feel like Billy, I would also see his red flags a mile away, but I would fall so hard for Matthew Lillard. Stu Macher is a class clown, and I would have been all
He's
about
a
him.
himbo.
I would have been Tatum in a heartbeat.
You remind me. You make me think. Like if I had to say Justine's a Scream character, I would say Tatum, 1,000%. The
I love
supportive friend.
Kirby. Like, I'm just kidding. I
Well,
like Tatum.
you're la
Tatum's
la
a good
like
one.
you're like both.
Yeah, Kirby's my favorite. I would say I have the biggest girl crush on Kirby, and I have the biggest guy crush on Schumacher. So Kirby and Stu, but Kirby's not a ghost face. So Stu, I did really like Jill, but I would hate her personality.
No, she's
Um,
her
I
personality
just
is
think she's an icon after the fact. Like, she's an icon, but I would hate her. I would not be her friend. So that's where me and Kirby would differ for sure. I don't know how Kirby could be her friend so close to her and not be completely annoyed with her. So yeah, Stu,
Stu and
Stu,
a non Ghostface McCulkin version of that character, Richie.
Charlie,
Charlie,
Charlie.
whatever. I don't know who. Like, I don't remember the names. Justine.
Richie was the Scream 5 killer. He was the one that was dating,
No. Oh, okay. He was Scream 5. Yeah, Charlie. Well, the
yeah,
Scream 4 male
Sam.
Ghostface.
Yeah, that Scream 4,
The Culkin.
Charlie, Charlie.
It's kind of hard to mistake. A Culkin's a Culkin, whichever one it is.
Um, the Goosebumps series, is that what we're talking about?
If we want to, yes.
I loved it. I had so much fun watching it. It was really well done. I was really impressed with the amount of care into, like, the production value of it. Like, I didn't expect the CGI to be so good. Like, the worms was really hard to watch.
I
Like,
love worms.
but they did so good. They did such a good job, and then, like,
They're
him
real.
eating garbage, like, grossed me out. Like, I feel like every bit of that show, they just went full on, and, like, you could tell the people who created it were, like, adult versions, like, adult lovers of Goosebumps, like, they were kids during Goosebumps, loved Goosebumps, and here they are today getting to work on Goosebumps, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" They just love the shit out of it, and I think it was so smart how they had such a succinct storyline, yet managed to pack in so many different classic Goosebumps stories into a very succinct storyline. They did a great job with that. I also thought that who you calling dummy and dumber? Slappy looked really cool. My daughter
He
and I
looked
say
just
that to
like the
each
book
other all the
cover.
time. She's like, "Hey, dummy," and I'm like, "Who you calling dumber, dumber?" And I swear, when we're out in public, she always gets like glares from strangers because they don't know what I'm about to say to her back. They don't know it's a thing we do. They just think that my daughter's a brat calling me a dummy. And I'm like, no, this is our thing. And they'll say, who you calling dummy, dummy? And then they look away real fast. Like, They're like, "Oh." But at first, you could see, like, the shock on people's faces when she calls me a dummy in public. It's just because she wants me to say it. She wants me to quote
Cute.
Slappy. Yeah.
So I don't think it was bad, but
Well, that's good.
but no, it's just that I like the episodic, fun, spirited. Maybe it could be a little scarier than the ones we grew up with. I was already
Yeah.
more of an Are You Afraid of the Dark gal, not that you have to pick one. But
Yeah.
I wasn't into the idea of it being a serial story. It's not a
Mhm.
bad idea, it just wasn't for me. It's like, "Oh, this kid's fun, spooky thing needs a lot of detail about, the parents having an affairs from years ago," and, like, what kid doesn't love it, you know? But kids are smart, it wasn't what I wanted, and that's okay. So,
Right.
I don't think it
Right.
was a bad show. It just wasn't what I wanted.
I agree. I think, they could have done an anthology and used the same actors if that was something that they wanted to do. If it was, because it is more expensive and it is harder to lock on a different cast for every episode for an anthology series like Goosebumps used to be back when they used child labor, right? And it was cheaper. And the amount of money that they put into this, I would assume that they didn't want to have to hire a new cast and do a new story or different script writers, different producers, directors. So they went with more of a succinct storyline, which, yeah, that you lose some of that
Fun.
nostalgia and fun and surprise that you have from the original series with doing it that way. But I also think it's kind of smart for um it felt like as an adult I could enjoy it and as a teen I could enjoy it and then my daughter enjoyed it because it was also still just goofy and outlandish enough for her to have fun with it. Um, the episode with the clones and they were, like, exploding into, like, purple goo,
That
she
was cool.
loved she loved that episode, that was, like, her favorite, and I was so like, "What the frick just happened?" I was so caught off guard that even I had a lot of fun with it, and I
Cuckoo
loved their
Clock.
reactions
Mhm.
with the, like with it getting in their mouth or on their hands and stuff, I thought that was hilarious. Like, there was a lot of good humor in it that felt, grown up, like, it didn't feel like they were just trying to cater to any one audience, which I appreciate as someone who has to watch a lot of kid stuff.
Well, I'm not sure if Sabrina, the Chilling Chill what is it called? I have a
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the first example, but if we look at the Sabrina that we grew up with, um, I definitely
Not
had a
the
crush on
comic.
that cat, but, he
Oh,
was
yeah, yeah.
sassy, he was
Yeah.
fun.
Do you know
Salem
about that?
Saberhagen. What?
Do you know about that series, though?
What
About
about it?
where it came from?
Yeah, the Elvira thing, but let me finish the thought.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Um,
Sorry.
and then I'll have you tell the Elvira part. Yeah, no, I read her book. Well, I listened to
Oh,
her book. I listened to it.
yeah,
Um, so, um, that was something that could vibe with kids, younger kids, preteens then, and it's different now. It's not the same. It wouldn't vibe with that audience in this day and age. So
right.
them making it more adult, whatever that means, but as you said, very well said, it's not meant specifically for kids or specifically for adults, but
Yeah.
I think it's following in the same vein of
Mhm.
shows like that, and
Mhm.
Wednesday possibly.
Oh, yeah, Wednesday too, and I appreciate it just because I have some nostalgia to the original shows or series, but I also don't want to watch them because 'cause I'm an adult now. Like, I'm past that era in my life where I don't want to watch a show like that anymore. And so I feel like I really loved Chilling Adventures of Sabrina a lot. I was thoroughly disappointed when they canceled it because I fell out of
Hated
love
the
with
ending.
Riverdale super fast.
The ending
Yeah, I didn't
sucked.
like the ending. It just it sucked that it came to an end at all and the way it did. But I also really liked Wednesday, and I liked Goosebumps, so I'm starting to think that I'm the audience, the target audience for these
Maybe
shows and
you are.
how they're doing it because I do like them. But I also think that we have teens and children who are exposed to so much more media that their tastes also have grown more than what our tastes were in early Hollywood and show. Like, does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
the expectation for, like, my stepdaughter, Charlotte, she's 12. What I watched when I was 12, my daughter, who's 5, would watch now.
Mhm.
Like, that's just ho it's not like they're growing up, I don't wanna say that, they're not more mature or anything like that, but their media taste is much more saturated. Their exposure to media is more saturated, um, it's everywhere, so they get it more often versus us who watched it, like, what, Sunday morning cartoons and then, like, primetime television. That was when we watched TV. So, you really didn't get a lot outside of that. Um, they get it all the time, just 24/7 exposure to shows. So they're
And some shows there
thank
that
you,
are too
expectations
adult for them, but they see it anyway because it's,
it's
available.
everywhere. Yeah, it's everywhere. Um, so I think that that's a smart evolution to media that we're seeing, and I like it because I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not gonna watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch, again. I liked it when I was younger, and I loved it. I loved it when I was younger,
I
but I
think if I
wouldn't
had
go back
never
and
seen
rewatch
it
it.
and I watched it now, I could say I get why people liked this, but it wouldn't speak to me anymore either as
No,
a
it
new
wouldn't.
watcher.
It wouldn't, yeah.
You wanna tell the Elvira part of it?
Yeah, so I didn't wanna get too into it. I was just gonna say it's not based off of the comics either. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is more based on the comics than the Sabrina the Teenage Witch was based on the comics. I mean, Sabrina the Teenage
Sabrina
Witch was based on Elvira's show that she had come up with.
and they had
Um,
shot a lot of, but she had passed with that producer, a business
yeah.
disagreement. And so it was, gonna be 2 aunts who have a niece who's also a witch. Elvira was gonna be one of the aunts, and there was gonna be a talking cat, all that stuff, and, he just, you know, some old bad blood, and he just canceled it all. And it
Mhm,
was, it was never aired. It was, doing very well and testing very well. So it was just like a personal thing, and then eventually they just rewrapped it as Sabrina the
mhm.
Teenage Witch.
Right. Um, and they did the same thing with Riverdale, but Riverdale
I've never
got
seen it.
too weird for me. I'm okay with shows kind of having adult aspects mixed in so that the audience is, I was just talking about this with Goosebumps. Like there's a adult storyline there too that you're following along with because the parents were the kids and now they're the parents and their kids are the ones going through it, right? So you're following along them as well. And that is what I mean by adult storyline. What I don't mean is what happened with Riverdale. I don't wanna see teenage high schoolers opening up bars, like
I've never
prohibition
seen it,
style
so
speakeasies and then, like, dancing in them like they're burlesque dancers, like, they're teenage high schoolers. That is so unbelievably out there in the realm of like, I get it, Riverdale has a lot that's out there in the realm of possibility, but that was so weird to me,
isn't there a
like,
murder mystery or something too?
there's a lot of murder mystery, which I can get down with, like, I
My
like Nancy
grandma, who's
Drew. Nancy
91,
Drew
watched
is great.
Riverdale. I didn't though.
It just
Eventually,
I
she
feel
said it
like
got too silly for her, so maybe that she had the same
that the
feeling
same
as
thing.
you.
I would guess it's the same thing. The minute a high schooler opened a speakeasy, I was like, "This is so stupid." Like, what? Why? But I loved, like, the campiness of the first couple seasons and, like, the whole, like, Jughead with his, like, biker gang family and his ex-biker gang self, even though he's just this teenager. And, Betty being the sweet little innocent, cheerleader, know it all. I love those, like, tropes a lot, and that's very campy, and I like that, and I like the way that they just break out in song sometimes, but then it just got really weird, and I just couldn't get into it, so I stopped watching it. Chilling Adventures came out, and I heard that they were gonna finally, like, cross over, and I was excited because I hated Riverdale, and I was hoping Sabrina would, liven it up and make it a little bit better again. And then they canceled Sabrina and still had, like, some crossover with it. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what they were thinking because Riverdale to me didn't was not nearly as good as Sabrina. Anywho, enough about that. Yes, I
You
like
want
these
to have
books.
an ending question?
Yeah, one more.
It's not a
One
hard
more.
one. What horror villain are you, Justine?
Can I be Jennifer?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jennifer check.
I'm not killing
No.
people. I'm just eating boys.
Yeah. I would I don't think I am her, but I love her. Let's see, what horror villain am I?
Chat, you can tell us what horror. I'm dressed as Swan, but I'm not Swan. I'd have money. Uh, and and be evil.
Yeah, what horror villain would you guys say we are?
No,
And then I'll try to
unless you're
think.
trying, you can't offend us. I can't take offense. The one
Promise.
I would relate to the most, mostly in the sequel, although I have better taste in men than she does. Julia from Hellraiser. I love Julia, especially the sequel. Like
Mm.
she can seduce Dr. Chenard without skin. And she sees that big leviathan up in the air, like, what does it know? I can do this better. And also, the idea of obviously, I would never want to bring somebody like Frank back into this world, but having this lust, this hunger for this man, you will do anything or woman.
I feel like I would be like a person that whose life you invade and I destroy you for it. That would be me as a villain. Like, I don't think that I'm someone who would go out and, like, be a villain. I think if you came into my place
Well,
and
I wouldn't actually murder
disrupted my
men for their
peace.
blood. So,
I know, but, like, that's the villain I relate to the most, the one where she's just trying to, like, live her life and maintain what she has, and someone's trying to take it from her. That would be me. That's the villain I am. Like, don't try to take my joy, don't try to take my stuff. Like, would that be like a bog witch? I don't know. I feel
oh,
like I'm
I
the one
want to
who
be a
just wants to
bog witch so
maintain my
bad.
happy life, my peace, and if you come into it and you try to fiddle with it, I'm just gonna destroy you. Um,
I picture the end of my
Carrie?
life like
Like
likely to be, like Golden Girls, but a little bit more, like, disturbing.
oh, I would kill for my child too. There's like a viral video of people who ask like moms, like, would you commit murder for your child? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, "Pfft,
I hate
yeah,
questions like that. Well, like, I mean, it's just
absolutely. There isn't a thing on this world I wouldn't do for my child if need be. Like, wouldn't hesitate. Like, end of question. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't maybe I'm the barbarian chick.
you're no guesses. You're afraid to offend us, maybe.
Hmm.
Who's Justine? Who am I? You can only offend me if you say Michael Myers. Like, I'm not that boring, okay? I'm
Hmm,
far more. I'd be far more like Dr. Loomis, but he's not the villain, I guess. So,
villain, I guess, maybe
well, maybe
not
you're the
Pearl,
xenomorph. She was a mother.
the xenomorph, yeah, or
I mean,
maybe the babysitter from Babysitter. I like her because she was kinda good in the second one. So I was just trying to do my thing. Just trying to be
well, I mean, I
you
actually wouldn't want to rule hell or whatever dimension. Well, it's not hell, but whatever dimension they're in. Like, I'm not good at ruling stuff. I just think Julie is delicious.
yeah. Um,
Carrie isn't a villain to me. She's a victim. She's one of the first film examples of the monstrous femme, which
Justine
is a
is a
little bit more
technical
nuanced.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with Jennifer Check because I feel like
Justine
she
is a tough
was
because you're so sweet.
yeah, I'm like a mom I'm the bear in Cocaine Bear. There we go.
I haven't seen that yet. Was it protecting its babies?
It does at one point, yeah. It's just trying to enjoy some cocaine and live its life in the woods, alright?
I also since nobody wants to get I also, maybe the Blair Witch, you know? Whether you count the one we see in the 3rd film or just that we don't know what she looks like. I wouldn't have, somebody go and kill a bunch of children, though, that's not my thing. But, being
No.
in the woods and I like it.
I'm really trying to think, and I
Being
just can't think.
mysterious. I'm horrible at being mysterious. I'm one of
I
the
guess I
least
don't
mysterious
relate to
people on this earth.
villains as much. I tend to relate to I
Well,
don't
what
know,
final girl would you say that you are?
probably Aaron,
From
I think from Your Next,
okay.
because I'm very capable like her, but I also wanna bring alcohol to the dinner, like, I don't wanna put up with your family, but
Oh, yeah, no, I'm totally what's her name? Mary Shaw from Dead Silence, another character,
there we
totally me.
go.
Me loving
Absolutely.
dummies and puppets. Oh, yeah, totally.
Stoker! I could be Stoker.
You could be Stoker. That was a
Yeah,
good
she's a good
answer.
one.
Put on my little
Hmm.
ventriloquist shows, and then when I die, I'd have them make me into a giant ventriloquist dummy. Yes, please. Let's do it.
I
I'm all
would
for
say,
it.
like, Rose the Hat, but it's not because I want to be like her, it's because I would never kill children, but,
Well, I wouldn't kill
um,
a child and make it into a
I just wanna
ventriloquist dummy
look
either.
like
It's
her.
type
Can
of
I just look like Rose the Hat? That's what I want. I just wanna be as
you got
cool
the
as her.
vibe, only you're
She's
nicer.
so cool. But yeah, I'm too nice for that shit.
I think, if I was a final girl, probably, Kirsty from Hellraiser, again.
Mhm. Oh, I could be
I have a
Dracula.
rockin' hard sensitive similar to the driller killer from Oh my god, him and I, yeah. Yeah.
I wanna be
Baby, do
Dracula.
you like
That's my
my
final
sound?
answer, Dracula, because I just wanna live in my castle, I wanna find the love of my life, and I wanna rule my little minions. That's it.
I want a cool guitar like the drill. That's a good answer, Optimistic. I feel like that's a good
Yeah.
answer for me as well. I want that cool guitar that couldn't work. It's a prop. With the drill at the end of it, just thrusting it. And singing these like very mediocre, if at best, rockabilly songs. And I could do a pompadour. I probably had to get a wig for that as well, but you know.
Yeah. So, moral of the story, Emma is really cool, quirky villains, and Justine is the one that eats boys.
I would describe Julia, not as, cool and quirky, but very horny. That's like her main thing, isn't it?
That
She
should be
wants
mine.
power. I don't want power, though. The second
That
one
should be
just works.
mine. I like power. I'm horny. You're the one with the
You
low
you can
body
you
count.
can be Julia too. There's no rules.
Um, nah, I'm gonna stick with Dracula.
Dracula.
Dracula. Plus, I want to live in a castle.
Cold, though.
Well, that's okay. He still looks
I
good.
get cold
He
easy.
dresses fabulous.
Hmm.
I could be David. I'm just gonna be a vampire.
You're
Oh,
too warm to be David, You're too, he's too,
well, he brings in
"I'm
the
so
lost
cool."
boys. He makes friends. He brings all the
That's true, that's
rejected,
true.
dejected boys to his fold. Gives them a home.
He's got a
Be
sense of
like
humor.
us. Be like us, Michael. Or or I'm the director. Sigourney Weaver, Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I definitely could see that. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, totally. All right,
Oh,
you
I could
guys.
definitely be the female Cenobite, sure.
now it's time to check the Patreon to see if you guys all voted.
You know what? If didn't technically vote, but you know what my vote would have been. So,
Okay, so next episode is going to be drumroll.
oh, I just messed up my screen.
uh, Witches. We're gonna do an episode
Yes!
on witches.
Ugh!
Ooh.
One of
I'm
my
excited for this. So Witches is the next episode. Don't worry, you guys. I know a few of you also voted for Yellow. Yellow. That will be on the next vote. So we will get around to
so
it.
next in December, which we have to. December's a little bit of a harder month, but just I'll figure out the dates. So we're keeping it that Justine picks a movie, I pick a movie, and then our slasher chat gets to vote on the third movie.
Yes. So I almost already know what I want to talk about, but I'll wait. I'll wait. In the meantime, you guys in the slasher chat, throw in your recommendations for witch movies. Um, and we will put together another poll for you guys to be able to vote on the third film. It might also help us decide on a film to talk about and watch. Maybe discover something we haven't watched and pick that. I
That'd
don't
be
know.
cool.
I might watch
I've
a
seen a
few.
lot of witches, but we'll
I know I really like witch movies, and I can't believe we haven't talked about
Ooh,
them yet. Because
I can't pick Red Spirit Lake because it's not easily available. But
yeah, and you know me, I was torn between like the super commercially ones because I was thinking Suspiria, the remake,
love that movie.
or Hellbender, because I'm
Oh,
due
love
for
that
a
movie too.
rewatch. I
I think
love
we did
Hellbender
talk about.
so
We could talk
much.
about it again though. We talked
We have
about it.
talked about it. I don't remember why or when.
I think there used to be four of us when we talked about it.
Maybe.
It's that long ago.
But
We
yeah,
could.
I really like Hellbender. So that might be my pick. I don't know yet. I want to go through and really scour the films to see if there's anything else. Um,
I have to think about
yeah,
it.
it's always fun to talk about that film though. So yeah,
Mhm.
we'll get the list in our Discord, and we can look. Hey, Spooky Robin, I'm sorry you didn't like the Suspiria remake, but it had young Mia Goth pre-X in it, and Dakota Johnson and Tilda Swinton. I mean, playing
How
like
is that
two
ending
characters.
not fucking awesome?
Oh
Or
yeah,
sorry, in my opinion, it's
it's
so
also just
bloody.
beautiful. I love the
It's beautiful, yeah.
I love the like costume design and the sound
I love how
design
they
and
connected the dancing with, with pain more so.
mhm. Yeah, I thought it was really, really well done. Yeah, it's a different vibe than the original, but I really like it.
It's
I
totally
really
fair to
like
not
it.
like it. It's
It is
totally
fair to
fair.
not like it, but I love it. So,
I love it.
but I don't know if we're gonna talk about that one because that one can be talked
Figure it out.
about
We'll figure
in
it
other
out.
things too. Um, Make sure you guys join our Discord. Thank you for joining this relaxed fit. Our heads of lettuce. You guys are reliable as always. I love you.
I love
Um,
you.
don't hesitate to join our Discord if you haven't. Follow us on
Oh
Instagram.
my god, should I pick Teen Witch? Oh,
I'll pick Practical Magic, and we'll go way out there for more.
I love practice.
Practical Magic is probably my favorite witch movie of all time.
It's about women being close to each other in a way
Love
that's
it,
like the importance of female friendship and family.
and it's
But
very well
I think
researched.
we should definitely have something. I might not pick Teen Witch. I'm just thinking about how about that? That's that one song. Stupid.
Oh, I love that
It's the best part.
part.
We might be able to just talk briefly on because when we talk about which movies,
take that.
take that. No,
Step
oh my
that.
god. And before she does the song and she's looking at him do that and she's like, he's so cool. I'll never be that cool. And it's like the whitest. Not that white's bad, but it's like the like suburban, white kid rapping, and it's embarrassing.
It
It's
is.
not like suburban white kid rapping. It's like watching somebody in like Kids Bop or somebody that is for like a
Oh,
Christian version of something
today we're
singing
gonna
it.
learn about hip hop. Hip
Oh,
hop.
and
Remember
that's
that
a hip.
dance video?
Yeah, she's a real person too. And that's a hip hop. All
Oh
right.
god. All right, you guys. Thanks for having us.
I
Check
love the
out our
Pomeroy's always
Patreon.
picking. I'm excited. Thank you. We love you
Excited to
all.
see the votes.
I have favorites
Bye.
though, but I won't say
Okay.
who. I'm kidding.